Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. So, when I reviewed ECW One Night Stand 2005, if you haven't already, go check out that review, especially now that it actually has sound with it. I alluded to a very historic wrestling moment where a WWE guy, or WWF at the time, battled a WCW guy for the ECW Championship. And looking into how that came about is a lot more interesting than I originally thought. Some of the intricacies of it. So, with that in mind, today let's talk about it. So, we're gonna be reviewing Taz versus Mike Awesome for the ECW Championship at a ECW House Show on April 14th of 2000. They showed the segment and everything on ECW Hardcore TV on April 15th, 2000. And I'm probably going to put both dates in the title of this video. Historical footnote is this match because this was at the time where there was the big three, of course, WWE, WCW, and ECW, or WF, and I might interchange between WWE and WF, but this was around the time where they were the big three. This was before the buyout and everything, when both WCW and ECW went out of business, with WCW being bought by WWE and then ECW being acquired later on, also by WWE. So this was back when all three were present and very much very much major in America. Having a moment like this is definitely a once in a lifetime thing. This is something that theoretically could happen nowadays, uh, but probably not, considering how protective like a lot of companies are when it comes to their assets and their talent, especially in WWE. But if something like that were to happen today, it would be definitely interesting to see. We kind of have some glimpses of it. AEW had both the working relationship with Impact and New Japan. In fact, AEW still has the work relationship with New Japan, which is what allows them to put on shows like Forbidden Door or this year, which I reviewed. So if you haven't already, go check out that review as well. But yeah, something like this. And honestly, this was more of a means to an end, and as we'll get into. But as always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer and analyst, just a man who enjoys good time, which I kind of had with this match. And I'll get to why. But first, how on earth did we get here? So, the story of how we got here is it's a bit tricky. So, Mike Awesome won the ECW Championship at Anarchy Rules of 1999, if I'm not mistaken. You can and I look at here. So Anarchy Rules of 1999 against Taz and Masato Tanaka in a three-way dance, and Taz was the ECW champion, and Mike Awesome won it from him. And however, Mike Awesome signed with WCW apparently in like the dead of night. It appeared on Monday Nitro while still ECW champion, and due to pay disputes, which isn't something that uncommon when it comes to ECW. Unfortunately, is one of the things that got them in trouble, and one of the reasons, and among others, as to why they sadly aren't around anymore, is the pay and everything, especially around like 2000s, where like a lot of talent wasn't being paid. But so Mike Awesome took the belt with him to WCW, so a deal was made that Mike Awesome would drop the belt to Taz, as which Taz was under contract with WWF at the time. He had this was not too long after his debut. Well, actually, a few months after his debut at the Royal Rumble, when he beat Kurt Angle. They had Mike Awesome drop the belt to Taz, as thus begatting this historic moment and of the WCW guy, Mike Awesome, which how he turned out in WCW. Some people may say, yeah, despite the pay, maybe you should have stayed in ECW, but that's a story for another time. And then Taz, who you have under the WWF contract, and it's for the ECW Championship. So the way that all three of the major three companies intersected here made for a really cool and historic moment, and it's something that people still talk about to this day. And Taz would end up dropping the belt 10 days later to Tommy Dreamer, or which Tommy Dreamer, or even though Tommy Dreamer never really wanted to be ECW champion, and it did help the company out because Tommy Dreamer was like one of the biggest stars in ECW who at the time. But yeah, so Taz would eventually drop the belt to Tommy Dreamer, or so. The historical footnote of that is really awesome. And then we get into what I didn't necessarily like about the match, and that is that the historical significance is the only thing really remarkable, because as by the time we're here at the recording for this video, which is we're about 6 minutes and 16 seconds in, and I look at my recording, meaning at this point in the recording of this video that I'm doing right now, the match is already over. It's essentially like a glorified squash match. Like Taz shows up, beats up Mike Awesome's son, and beats Mike Awesome up a bit, and like mostly like brawling on the outside and stuff. Tommy Dreamer shows up, hits the DDT on Mike Awesome, and then Taz locks in the Taz mission, and Mike Awesome taps, and Taz is the new ECW champion. Really short match, but we've seen that a lot where the historical moments and the historical significance of certain moments is only results in pretty short matches, because as you're not necessarily there for the you're there for the match, but you're not really there for the match, if that makes any sense. It's more about the moment as opposed to the actual match. And that's definitely the case here, where the actual moment of the WWE, WCW, ECW collision coming together is more significant than the match itself. But we do have to take the historical significance of the match into question, because this definitely is a very historically significant match. And so on that merit, it is interesting to look at from a historical standpoint, and how they had a WWF guy and a WCW guy battling it out for the ECW Championship. It, like I said, means to an end a lot of legal wrangling. Get this match to make this match happen, and to get the title essentially off of Mike Awesome onto Taz, and then on to Taz back to an actual ECW guy. Well, still at this point, someone who's still under contract with ECW. And Taz did have the ECW Championship on WWF for a little bit. Hit as well. He had the ECW Championship while he was on TV, which was the perfect time for him to lose to WWF Champion Triple H. Yay. And honestly, he, even though that was pretty early in his career, seeing how the rest of Taz's tenure in WWE kind of happened, perhaps was a sign of things to come. But nevertheless, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the match and my analysis of the match and the historical moment. Did you dislike the match, my analysis of it, all that good stuff? And let me know in the comments. And also, a question I want to pose to you guys: will we ever see a moment like this again? My answer is probably not, but imagine how insane a moment like that would be today. Like this was before the internet really became what it was. Obviously, the internet existed at this time, but this was before it really evolved into what we know it as today. Imagine a moment like this happening nowadays. It definitely would be like something absolutely massive. I think the closest we probably would get to something like that at in wrestling today is when Mickey James, while still with Impact, showed up at the Royal Rumble last year, or perhaps when they accidentally gave Malachi Black a 30-day no compete clause instead of the traditional 90-day, and so he was able to show up in AEW, or when Roddy Strong showed up in AEW while people thought he was still in WWE, but otherwise, I don't know if a moment like that will happen today. It would be insane to see, but will it actually happen? I don't think so. But let me know in the comments. But thank you all so much for watching. We are going to be looking at ECW One Night Stand 2006 this upcoming week. So we're going to look at that, and I might even throw another bonus ECW match into the mix, because I'm not entirely sure. But also, if you have any I don't know if I mentioned this. I've mentioned this a few times, but I don't think I mentioned it as often. But if you guys have any match requests or recommendations that you want me to look at, just let me know. You can either let me know on social media. You can let me know in the comments. However, you can get a hold of me. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.